right. Okay, so welcome back to another installment of Titan U College Q's. So I'm here with a representative from Santa Clara University. If you just want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Good morning or afternoon, whenever you watch this. With AJ Williams, Director of Transfer, Athletic, and International Admission for Santa Clara University.
Awesome. So let's just jump right in. How would you describe the setting at Santa Clara?
Yeah, sure. So, Santa Clara, and really I'll back it up in a little bit in that, we're in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, which to me as a native of the Bay Area, but I've lived in the four corners of the country, the way I really break down the Bay Area is really sort of a big triangle of three major cities, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, which are surrounded by a bunch of little satellite suburb towns like Santa Clara, or Palo Alto, a couple minutes up the road from us where Stanford is. And so Santa Clara is really a suburb of San Jose. I live in the downtown San Jose area and could ride my bike to work if I wanted to. I haven't in a long time. Don't judge me. But yeah, so and San Jose is the largest of the three major cities in the Bay Area at about 1 million people in San Jose proper. That said, it feels more like a big town as opposed to a major metropolitan area like San Francisco. So it's a suburban setting and neighborhood, but within literally minutes to pretty much anything you could think of.
That's nice, little best of both worlds.
Exactly. Yeah. San Francisco's 45 minutes away. Oakland's 40 minutes. Our closest beach is Santa Cruz. That's about 30 or 40 minutes to the southwest.
Okay. How would you describe campus life and the culture at Santa Clara?
Yeah, very, very active. We're a medium-sized school. So we're about 5,500 undergrad, 3,100 graduate students. But we're limited with our grad offerings, only have 6 graduate programs. Okay. And the majority of our graduate students are working professionals in the area. So they take classes either early in the morning or in the evening. What that translates to is that the undergrad experience is undergrad centric, right? So, but we're a residential campus. Last year was the first year that we moved to a 2-year on-campus housing requirement. Okay. So, most folks are on campus the first couple of years, and then junior and senior year, it's usually that's kind of junior years when, folks will study abroad if they're going to do that, which about a quarter to about, 33% of our students do in normal times. But usually, junior and senior year, wherever you end up, folks want to live off campus and that can have a little bit more freedom. But a very active campus. We get great weather pretty much year round, just like, Southern California. So folks take advantage of it for sure.
Okay, so the first 2 years are required for them to live on there. So all students, first year and second years are there.
Correct, yeah. And we're a national school. So we're only about half students from California, the rest coming from all over the country, all over the globe. We're about 8% international, all 50 states represented, that kind of thing.
Okay. What is the enrollment size then?
So medium, right? So we're not a small liberal arts college like the Claremont colleges or Occidental down there. We're not a big research school like the UCs or anything like that. We're sort of in the middle. So 5,500 undergrad, on a slow creep up to about 6,000. And that growth we want primarily to come in the STEM fields, which is why we have a brand new $300 million STEM facility that just opened up last October. And then, about 3,100 graduate students. But
okay, again, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So slightly under 10,000.
Yeah, so it's not too small where everybody, but you also don't get lost in the crowd.
Exactly. Yeah, with 5,000, I think you have your core group of friends, but you're still meeting new folks.
Yep, good point. Does your school have athletics? What division? And are there any highlighted programs?
Yeah, we're Division I athletically, and our women's soccer program is one of the best in the nation every year. We won the championship 2 years ago, hosted the Final Four, and made it to the Final Four last year. But we're perennial, contenders in that. Men's basketball is where we're sort of circling the wagons and putting a lot of resources behind. I have a brand new, beautiful practice facility, which unfortunately is just for the D1 athletes, but our general just sort of gym facilities just for the campus are pretty nice as well. So those are the two big ones, and then basketball or baseball, water polo, stuff like that. We're in the West Coast Conference, so the majority of those schools don't have football teams.
Okay, very nice. What are the top majors at Santa Clara, and are there any areas that the school specializes in?
Yeah, so being in the Bay Area, when folks hit that term Silicon Valley, that's literally where we are. Right, that's our backyard, that's our playground. But what folks don't know, because they have a good sense of that usually, we're the oldest school in the state. So we were here before the Valley was known for technology and engineering and all of that.
Oh, wow.
With the growth of those industries, those are areas academically that we're very highly regarded. So business is currently our top ranked program, but engineering, anything dealing with the sciences, computer engineering, those are the areas that we're known for. Strong programs, our most popular programs in arts and sciences, communication, psychology, biology, political science, things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that with a new STEM program, so that's where you want to increase it to. With you want to get more students in with STEM.
Yeah, brand new building, so we got more capacity.
Very cool. Let's see. Do you know how many freshmen return after their first year of college?
95%. We have one of the higher retention rates in the country, and one of the higher 4-year graduation rates in the country as well. Not 6, but 4-year. That's awesome. In part because of our, and that 4-year grad rate's 88%. Mm-hmm. And just for the edification of folks, the national 4-year rate's about 41%. Mm-hmm. And, typically when you hear folks like me give a graduation statistic, the standard way of reporting, that's a 6-year rate, that's only 58%. So, to have a 95% retention rate and a 4-year grad rate, I think both our size and the speed of things here, because we're on the quarter system, mm-hmm. Help that. And so yeah, folks are pretty successful here. We cost too much to stick around for 6 or 7 years.
But that's a great highlight because it shows the dedication and devotion you have to the students and them finishing their education in 4 years, which has become more important when students want to get started on their career sooner.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. What are the admission requirements for Santa Clara?
Yeah, so we're a private school. So unlike the larger state schools and things like that, private schools deal mostly with averages. Mm-hmm. And what I will say, I'll kind of back it up a little bit, is that we're a school like most schools in the country, where we admit about half the students that apply. Mm-hmm. Right now, the counterintuitive part to that is that we see a very accomplished group, an accomplished applicant pool. So we'll get anywhere from 17, almost 18,000 applications, admit about half of those. Our average admitted numbers last year, an unweighted GPA on a 4.0 scale of a 3.85. The numerical weight given at most high schools for honors or AP or IB, if those are offered, we look at within the context of the school you're coming from. Right? So at Notre Dame, we're going to know exactly what's offered. Did you challenge yourself? If you want anything dealing with business or engineering or the sciences here, what's that math level? What's that science level? Calculus is preferred for those areas, not required. Mm-hmm. We are test optional. And so, to be clear, students will be considered the same for admission, for any type of funding, academic or merit-based monies, regardless of whether or not those scores are submitted. That said, for the last 3 years, about half of our applicants have still submitted them.
That's a good point to make, because we have our students always ask, should I still take it? And I think it's important for them just to get an understanding of what it still does if you turn it in.
Well, and what I'll say is, again, so for us, if those are submitted, they're really treated as additional information, right? Mm-hmm. And so just more context. Yeah. Prior to the pandemic, only about 12 or 15% of all the 2,000 plus 4-year schools in the country were test optional, test free, or some variation of that. Now it's about 75 or 80% that are, right? So I think there's less stress put on the test. That said, that's still a quarter of schools that require them. So why not take the test just so you see? So that's kind of what I tell students. But that said, our averages for the admitted students, which are a little bit skewed, again, mm-hmm. because only the students who do well are sending them these days.
Of course.
But our average was a 1455 out of 1600 on the SAT and a 32 on the ACT, which is out of 36. So again, an accomplished group that we see. But I do want to underscore that it's a holistic evaluation, right? We're reading your personal essay, extracurriculars and all that, because again, we're a residential campus. So what are you going to add to this environment? Nobody wants a bunch of bookworms sold up in their dorm, because that's boring for everybody.
Awesome. So do students declare a major when applying? Do you guys accept undeclared? How does that work?
Yeah, you can apply undeclared. However, you do need to apply to one of our 3 academic divisions. Okay. So we have the College of Arts and Sciences, which is our liberal arts division, right? About 40 different majors to choose from there. The business school is about a quarter of the student body. And then engineering is actually our smallest division. So you need to, apply to one of those 3. Business and engineering are smaller divisions, and just, again, business is what we're, our highest ranked program, and the most coveted destination for the last couple of years. And so tougher to get into those programs. But if you want to major in business or engineering, you need to be in one of those schools. If you're in arts and sciences, you have access to minors in business or engineering. So while it's tougher to get into those two smaller schools, easier to start there and work with arts and sciences for a second major or minor.
Okay.
But a ton of our students double major, major minor, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Can you review the cost of attending Santa Clara? Just a rough overview.
Oh, it's high. It's up there. We're in the Bay Area, we're in the Silicon Valley, one of the more expensive areas in the regions in the country that just exist. So our total cost of attendance, and that's everything, room and board, books, tuition, everything, is almost $80,000.
Okay.
So up there with the Stanfords and the USCs and the NYUs of the world. That said, about 75% of our students receive something. So we are one of those schools, like most private schools, where that price tag on the front end should not be a deterrent. Apply if you're interested, if you think you will benefit from your time here. See if you get in, and if what we offer is realistic. We automatically consider all first-year applicants, regardless of when they apply, early or regular, early decision, early action, regular decision, ED2, doesn't matter. We automatically consider all folks for any merit-based academic monies they might qualify for, but those are tough to come by here. Probably only the top 10 to 15% of our enrolling class every year is meritorious in terms of need-based funding. Both the FAFSA and the CSS profile are very important forms to have mom or dad or your parent or guardian submit. Because again, the FAFSA is pretty universal. Most schools in the country utilize that. The CSS is primarily used by private schools, and it makes you eligible for institutional funding. So very important to fill out both of those forms to put yourself in the best position.
Yeah, we try to remind our students too, the same thing, like apply and then get a financial aid package. Make your decision then. Don't just take out a school altogether because you think it's too expensive when you don't know the package yet.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Does Santa Clara provide any career placement upon graduation, or do you have any ties for internships?
80% of our students graduate with at least one internship.
Okay.
Again, we're in one of the more dynamic and innovative places in the world. You got to be productive around here, and so our students are, there's more tech companies, even though the Valley is more than just tech, but there's more tech companies in the Valley than we have undergraduate students. And so, your engineers, your business students, they kind of have the lion's share of those opportunities. But even the folks in our College of Arts and Sciences have opportunities. If you're thinking pre-med and things like that, there are 4 major hospitals within a 5 to 10 mile radius of the campus. So your ability to shadow and do those kinds of things is there. But yeah, regardless of whatever major you pursue here, you have to be productive, and our students are. I like the direction of our career center. We have some new leadership in there, and so essentially their approach is, as students, you're gonna have to opt out of taking part of what we offer and that kind of thing. And so very, very, very productive folks here. But again, it's about balance. We're a Jesuit school. So the Jesuit Catholic, school, you don't have to be obviously to come here, but we're similar to LMU, Loyola Marymount down in Southern California, USF in the city up here, Gonzaga, Georgetown, those are all Jesuit schools. And so, it's just about being open-minded and really having a balanced experience.
Yeah.
And to that end, because I mentioned it, the religious requirements are 3 theology courses over the 4 years.
Okay.
But there's 150 plus classes to choose from. So
again,
great. One of the more open-minded approaches to it that you'll find in higher ed.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to touch on that. So 3 classes over the 4 years.
Yeah, and really, they're in all kind of subjects that some you wouldn't even think would apply to that. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, that's great. So that's all for our questions today. Do you have anything else to share about Santa Clara that you feel like our students would benefit from?
No, I think honestly our best selling point is the campus. So we offer information sessions and tours Monday through Friday, most Saturdays throughout the school year. A pretty easy trip from Southern California, right? It's an hour flight from LAX or Burbank up to San Jose International Airport, which is 2 miles from the campus. Nice. If you all wanted to do a nice drive with your family and kind of go up the coast and see all the different schools that are there, because we got a ton in California. It's a 5 or 6 hour drive. So come up, see us. Our open house event is coming up on October 15th.
Okay.
It's in person. So yeah, we're here. Stop by.
Thank you so much for sharing all that information.
You're welcome. All right. Nice talking to you.
Thank you. You too. Have a good day.